What's up, guys? My name is Westy, and today I've got a dual com for you guys. I sort of got chatting to a guy called Matt the Musketeer, who's one of my mates off YouTube, and we were just talking about Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, and Battlefield 4. So here's just a section of our conversation. I hope you enjoy it.
It's nowhere near comparable as it was in Bad Company 2.
I just think, like, with Battlefield 3, that the whole point of the game was they were trying to make it a realistic, futuristic war shooter. That was the idea. It was set a couple of years into the future, and it was supposed to be really realistic. And if you look at the recon class they have in Battlefield 3, you have to say it's realistic in the terms of how they wanted it. It's how a reconnaissance sort of soldier should play in a battle. They sit back with a sniper, taking out enemies from a distance away. But that's not what the community really wanted. What they wanted was a class that they could pick any class and they'd still be influential to how the game actually played. Whereas I think now, if you're like a recon, you have influence, obviously, if you go aggressive, but it doesn't give you any incentive to go and play the objective anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, on Bad Company 2, the recon had C4 for a start, so that made you a tank busting piece of kit right there. You could run up, and also it made, like you said earlier on about the objectives, on Arica Harbour, if I was the recon and I was attacking, I could go down to that second NCOM in the town and just walk around the building, cover it in C4 and just detonate it and take out the building. So, even as a sniper, you could effectively, literally destroy the objectives. But now, obviously, you've not got the C4 anymore. You've not got the sensor ball. You have got that
Tux.
You've got the Tux little banana thing, but it's just nowhere near as effective.
That's the one thing I miss, is the motion balls. I think that if they bring anything back to the recon class for Battlefield 4, they're going to have to do something, because there's been a big outcry about it. But if they have to bring something back, it's got to be those motion balls, because they were great. Because like, you could pick more up off an ammo kit and you could just lob more around, and it helped your team out so much, because obviously if you're throwing them around you and you've got a couple of assault guys around you, it helped them out so they could pick those players off relatively quickly.
Yeah, and it was the fact that you didn't have to be in the situation, like with the Tux, you have to literally go and run and just put it down exactly where you want it. But the motion balls, part of the fun with them, they were very bouncy. I don't know if you remember that from the game. You could, if you wanted one in a certain location, you could bounce it off walls to get it to go around corners.
Yeah,
and that would tell you, if you weren't sure if there was an enemy there, you could just ding one off a corner, and it would, it was pretty effective. Obviously, with the Tux, you've got to put yourself right in the line of fire to get that thing on the floor. So
yeah, it's a bit more forced. Whereas with the Battlefield, the Bad Company 2 one, it was a bit more of a relaxed class, if you think about it that way, where you had a bit more freedom to do and play the game how you wanted to play, rather than how the devs wanted you to play the game.
Yeah, well, I think that kind of counts for not just the classes, but the game as a whole. I mean, I find Bad Company 2, obviously, the whole premises of Bad Company 2 is it's a bit more of a kind of off the cuff. It's a bit more meant to be a bit more humorous and stuff. But I found Bad Company 2 a little bit more enjoyable to play in terms of it wasn't so serious. Like, if there was an open space online and you wanted to run across it, on Bad Company 2 you just run across it and you probably won't get shot. It wasn't as dangerous. But on Battlefield 3, everyone is just constantly hid behind cover, because if you run anywhere, you're going to get pinged instantly. It's that kind of mentality that Bad Company 2 was just a lot more chilled out, and people just ran anywhere and did what they wanted. It was a lot more of a just a chilled out experience, I think, than Battlefield 3.
Sums up both of them pretty well, where you've got Battlefield's like a grown up. Battlefield 3 is a bit grown up, and it's sort of like learned from what they've had in the past, and it's grown up to be this admittedly amazing game, because it still is a brilliant game. But it's what DICE have come to. They've done, and they've said, right, this is the serious one, and Bad Company is less serious, the one where they were messing around a bit. They could afford to take a few risks. And personally, I actually prefer that one to Battlefield 3.
See, it's interesting, because I agree, but when I played Bad Company, and obviously, the time when they were bringing out all the adverts and the commercials for Battlefield 3, I've never been more excited for a game in my life. I was like, the idea of Bad Company 2, but a serious version, I was like, yeah, because I want it to be more realistic. But now, like you said, looking back at it now, I actually probably do prefer the more chilled out version that's still a little bit humorous and it's not taking itself quite so seriously.
Yeah, I think the whole game in general, just the way that it all played, the way it looked, and the way they marketed it, with like even with Vietnam and stuff like that, shoving a flamethrower into it, that really made me laugh when I saw the trailer. I was like, oh my god, a flamethrower! It's so good. And like in Battlefield 3, the equivalent is essentially an M320, and you just get so pissed off with that thing. It's just
exactly,
you get hit with it left, right, and centre. And I just think like Bad Company 2, it's just so much more relaxed.
And they had the whole thing with Vietnam with the music, like you got the tanks, and there was epic music playing, classic songs from Vietnam like war movies and stuff. It was just things like that you would never find them do in a Battlefield 3 expansion. In Endgame, you wouldn't find them with tanks that you could play the radio on or anything like that.
You wouldn't find that.
I mean, I still think Vietnam was probably one of the best map packs DICE have ever done, and it is such a shame when because I play on Bad Company now on PC, and no one, or especially on PlayStation 3, no one plays the Vietnam map packs. They're literally just deserted. All of the servers are empty now.
It's such, I've got it on Steam, Bad Company 2, and I've got into a couple of Vietnam servers, but they're not on Rush, they're on Conquest, and I find that it's better to play Rush in pretty much any Battlefield game.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's such a shame because like the Vietnam setting, that it was so good. They put, and it was a surprise as well because people didn't expect it. And I think that,
there was no real purpose for it really. It just kind of came from nowhere, which was good.
Yeah, and I think that's something that again DICE, well, the people that made Battlefield, they missed a beat with Battlefield 3 where they haven't surprised us with anything. They've already they told us what we were getting, and then when we asked for something, let's say like people wanted the new weapons more than we've got now, they haven't. The only thing they surprised us with was a crossbow, and we thought, oh well, that's all right, but it's not great. And like even though we're reintroducing capture the flag with Endgame. In my opinion, it probably should have been in there from the start.
Yeah, it's not something you should be.
Should be
we're putting it in at the very last DLC of the game. It's kind of should have been there from launch day.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you mean. It's kind of, and the other thing with Bad Company 2 now, obviously this is, you can expect this as companies get bigger anyway, but I miss was the free DLC. I mean, you did actually genuinely feel that buying a game brand new, you were actually genuinely, seriously being rewarded for, paying out that 40 quid for the brand new game and just getting, I mean, how many, was it 4 map packs? You got about 8, 9 maps in total, maybe 10 maps, all for free. And that at the time, that was one of the selling points that converted me across from Call of Duty, because Call of Duty at the time was, it was Modern Warfare 2, and it was raiding your wallets to get your expansion packs and stuff, and just DICE were just giving you these map packs once every 2 or 3 months just for free.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
And it was amazing. And obviously, as DICE got bigger and EA, tried to push Battlefield 3 to be much bigger, everyone knew that the free DLC was a thing of the past, but you could still expect, I still half thought maybe we might get some free guns for free, or, dog tags and stuff like that. And whilst we do get dog tags and things...
it's not really what we're looking for.
It's not really quite free map packs like Bad Company 2.
Well, I think we can safely say that we both preferred Bad Company 2 then.
yeah, massively. It was like we said, Battlefield 3 is the better game, but in terms of memories and experiences, Bad Company 2 definitely comes out top trumps for me.
Definitely. So that's about it for this video today. We will be doing more dual comms in the future. We've got plenty of things to talk about. And we've got some live comms coming up as well, where we're going to be doing some tactical gameplay on certain maps and stuff. So make sure you stick around for that. If you want to see Matt's side of that gameplay, or Matt's version of this dual comm, then just hop over to his channel. His link is in the description. And he's a really cool guy. Make sure you go and subscribe to him. He's got some great videos up on his channel. Likes and comments are always appreciated, guys. I've been Westy, and I'll see you in the next video.